ROS orders DP to hold fresh elections. Transport Ministry to review transshipment procedures. A very good evening and welcome. Thanks for joining us. You're watching the evening edition of News on 2. I'm Adrian Seat. The Registrar of Societies, or ROS, has no intention of deregistering DAP, but the party must hold fresh elections for its Central Executive Committee, or CEC. ROS will be issuing a directive to hold DAP to hold fresh elections for 20 legal and authorized CEC members. According to Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, the decision by ROS was conducted in a professional manner according to the law as constituted in the Societies Act 1966.
Saya ingin menyatakan bahawa ROS memang berjumpa dengan saya. Saya meminta supaya beliau bertindak secara profesional dan jangan menggunakan emosi, jauh sekali menggunakan mana-mana pemikiran yang di luar kotak kepada perlembagaan DAP sendiri dan Akta Pertubuhan 1966.
Yesterday, ROS Director General Dato' Muhammad Razin Abdullah issued a directive to DAP to hold fresh elections for 20 legal and authorized CEC members. Based on the complaints, ROC believes the re-election of DAP's CEC members and main office bearers during the period was not legal. Dato' Muhammad Razin explained that the re-election should have been carried out based on a list of delegates who were authorized to attend and vote in the internal polls held on December the 15th of 2012. The polls in 2012 involved 2,576 delegates from 865 branches. In a related development, MCA President Dato Sri Julai described DAP's action to blame the Registrar of Societies for the confusion in the party's registration status as a way to divert attention from the party's internal problems. Dato Sri was commenting on DAP advisor Lim Kit Siang's Twitter post yesterday, where he described ROS's actions as not lawful and ridiculous.
Masalah pemilihan parti sendiri pun tak betul. Macam mana nak memimpin masyarakat dan negara? Kerana dia punya masalah dalam parti, pemilihan parti itu kena ikut peraturan perlembagaan parti lah. Dia masalah dia orang. Dia tak payah salahkan orang lain. Tengok cermin sendiri lah. Tengok sendiri apa yang berlaku dalam parti mereka.
Now, Felda Chairman Tan Sri Shahrir Abdul Samad today announced that Felda and Felda Global Venture Holdings Berhad, or FGV, have agreed to allocate 2 seats for representatives from Felda on FGV's board of directors. The decision was made after a meeting with newly appointed FGV Chairman Tan Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahbub last week. Now, 3 other seats are for representatives from the government, while 6 will be allocated for independent directors. According to Tan Sri Shahrir, the decision was made as part of measures to stabilize the company after the recent furor and also to regain the public and investors' confidence in the company. It was also to expedite the process of finalizing the list of FGV's board members without having to go through any extraordinary general meeting.
Tak payah nak ada mesyuarat agung luar biasa EGM, nak panggil mesyuarat, lepas tu kena buat keputusan tambahkan 12 jadi 13. Jadi kalau 11 dia masih dalam undang-undang tubuh FGV, syarikat FGV, maka tak payah boleh dibuatkan cepat. Jadi sekarang saya tunggu jawapan daripada pihak FGV lah.
Tan Sri Shahrir said following its boardroom tussle, which saw the suspension of its president and CEO, Dato' Zakaria Arshad, and the resignation of Chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Isa Abdul Samad, FGV needs dynamic leaders and minds and must focus on clearing up the mess as soon as possible. The Transport Ministry will review the country's transshipment procedures to curb illegal wildlife trade. Its Minister Dato Sri Julai said this needs to be done as there are still those who manipulate the procedures set by the ministry. Dato Sri Liao said based on the procedures, the receiving country is the one responsible to conduct checks on any shipments brought in. He was commenting on the seizure of 7,000 kilograms of ivory valued at about 40 million ringgit in a 12.19-meter container shipped from Malaysia on Tuesday. Dato Sri Liao said the shipment labelled as frozen fish was believed to have been shipped in from Africa. He added that 3 people from a trading company had been arrested in connection with the incident. The sulcata-type tortoises, which were seized by the Malaysian Border Security Agency or AXIM, recently has been handed over to the Perlis National Parks and Wildlife Department or Perhilitan. Its director Muhammad Effendi Ibrahim said that the tortoises, worth over 3,000 ringgit, was believed to have been smuggled in from Thailand for the purpose of selling it as pets. Muhammad Effendi said after several checks, the owner of the tortoises had failed to produce the ownership document and permit, which is an offence under the 2010 Wildlife Conservation Act 716.
Kamunya untuk kes ni, Jabatan Pilihan Polis akan buka fasa siasatan lah. Fasa siasatan ni akan dirujuk pada penasihat undang-undang Jabatan Pilihan lah untuk tindakan selanjutnya lah. Untuk hidupan liar yang dirampas ni, kita akan hantar ke pusat penyelamat di Sungkai lah, pusat penyelamat kebangsaan, hidupan liar kebangsaan di Sungkai untuk tindakan selanjutnya oleh pihak jabatan lah.
Warnings are given to individuals who keep, sell, import or export animals under the Wildlife Protection Act. Earlier, 3 suspects were arrested by AXIM at Kampong Kolam, Padang Besar, as a result of the cooperation with the Perlis Perhilitan. The trio, 2 Thais and a Malaysian, was suspected of trying to smuggle the tortoises into Malaysia via Perlis using a private vehicle. 2 policemen from the Kuala Muda Police Headquarters who were accused of soliciting 10,000 ringgit from 2 moneylenders have been released on bail. Kedah Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission or MACC said the 2 policemen were released on bail as their 4-day remand period expires today. On April the 11th, the 2 policemen on patrol stopped 2 men at the Aman Jaya Mall in Sungai Petani on suspicion of carrying out illegal money lending activities. Now, the men, aged 26 and 25, allegedly offered 1,290 ringgit to the policemen as an inducement not to take action against them. However, the policeman rejected the bribe and arrested the duo before handing them over to the MACC office in Sungai Petani together with the cash as evidence. The 2 moneylenders were released by the MACC 2 days later, and one of them subsequently lodged a police report claiming that the policeman had solicited 10,000 ringgit from them. The Kuala Muda National Anti-Drugs Agency, or AADK, detained 14 drug addicts, including a government servant, in an operation conducted this morning around Kampong Segantang Garam in Merbok, Kedah. Its chief, Shamsuri Yusof, said the 43-year-old civil servant was caught while consuming drugs at a mangrove swamp in the village. The civil servants will be charged once the urine test results are produced. The 13 other drug addicts who were caught in the raid have been detained and taken to the Kuala Muda Police Headquarters before being sent to the Kuala Muda AADK for urine tests. Meanwhile, in a separate raid, the Kuala Muda AADK had arrested 15 other suspects believed to be drug addicts at Kota Kuala Muda. And coming up in the business segment, Johor to impose a development charge on developers beginning September. Stay with us, that story in a moment. Malaysia's stable economic standing has enabled the country to open doors to more investments from local and foreign investors. Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi says the various incentives provided by the Malaysian government to investors would also enable them to give back to the people through its corporate tax schemes.
Kita mesti memberikan peluang kepada adik-adik perniagaan untuk membuat keuntungan sebanyak-banyaknya, kerana kita akan menggalakkan supaya mereka turut memberikan sumbangan bukan hanya dalam bentuk percukaian atau corporate tax, tetapi juga dalam menterjemahkan social responsibilities.
Dato' Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said this at an Ideal Fitri open house in Bangan Dato' Perak, which was attended by more than 20,000 people. Malaysia has proposed that the cooperation of the postal network between countries in the Asia-Pacific region be strengthened to support the rapid growth of the digital economy. Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister Dato' Jailani Johari said this was in line with the role of the postal network as a strategic infrastructure and a crucial component of the digital economy ecosystem. Dato' Jailani noted that the cross-border postal service must be streamlined to support the growth of the digital economy in the Asia-Pacific region in the aspects of management, security and trustworthiness. By doing so, he said more parties, especially micro, small and medium-scale companies, can participate in digital economic activities. The improvement in the quality of postal services and reduced costs will also benefit consumers. He also urged the government to take proactive steps to rejuvenate the Universal Postal Services policy to ensure that postal services continue to be in tune to the behavioral habits of consumers and fast-changing market demands. Dato' Jailani spoke at the 12th plenary session of the Asia-Pacific Postal Congress held in Tehran, where Malaysia, through Post Malaysia, was reappointed to the Asia-Pacific Postal Board for 4 more years. Exports of local palm oil and palm oil-based products recorded a revenue of 32 billion ringgit for the period between January and May of this year. Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Dato' Sri Ma Siu Kiong says the latest developments saw an increase of 31% compared to the same period of last year. Dato' Sri Ma said the positive growth in revenue would enable the industry to achieve its target of 70 billion ringgit for 2017, adding that focus now is on penetrating a wider market, especially in the ASEAN and West Asian region.
Kita berasa bangga kerana kita telah memperluaskan pasaran seperti Iran. Macam dulu, Iran telah membeli 300 juta kelapa sawit dari Januari hingga Mei 2016. Tetapi tahun ini telah meningkat kepada 750 juta. So, lebih dari 140% for Iran.
Speaking at an Ideal Fitri open house organized by Gerakan at Bandar Sri Damansara today, Dato' Sri Ma said the signs are good for the palm oil sector as the Malaysian palm oil industry is an important segment and contributor to the national gross domestic product. The Johor state government will implement the property development charge beginning in September of this year. The implementation of the charge had been decided by the State Planning Committee on July the 4th. State Housing and Local Government Committee Chairman Dato' Mat Jaiz Sarde said the charges are imposed by local authorities to applicants or landowners should there be a change in the local plan which has been gazetted. Through these charges, the local authorities can enhance its role in increasing the provision of public utilities through a trust fund.
Charge kemajuan ni ialah bila tanah pertanian ini dah bertukar status pada perumahan, mesti ada tambah nilai pada nilai hartanah. Jadi charge yang dikenakan itu ialah pada kadar-kadar 30, 25, 15 dan 10% itu adalah kepada nilai hartanah yang baru itu.
Dato' Mat Jaiz said this to the media at his Ideal Fitri open house in Kluang, Johor today. The percentage of charges involve 30% for international zones, 25% for city council areas, 15% for the municipal council areas, and 10% for districts under the local authorities. The charges levied under Section 32 of the Town and Country Planning Act 1976, Act 172, have been implemented in other states such as Selangor, Perak, Terengganu, Kelantan, and Kedah. Coming up in sports, a favourable draw for Harimau Malaya in SEA Games football. Stay with us. City Police will soon be conducting security drills at the Kuala Lumpur City Centre KLCC as part of preparations for the upcoming 29th Southeast Asian Sea Games. The exercise is expected to take place on Monday and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. In a statement, the City Police Contingent Headquarters advised members of the public not to panic when they see a large police presence in the area during the aforementioned period. The security contingent comprised various police elements, including a bomb disposal unit, a special action unit, the 69 Commando, the Air Wing Unit, the General Operation Force, and the Criminal Investigations Department, amongst others. The 29th Sea Games is slated to be held from August 19th to the 30th. The national under-23 football team have been handed a relatively easy draw for the Kuala Lumpur Sea Games to be held from August the 14th until the 29th. Coach Dato' Ong Kim Swee can afford to smile after Malaysia were drawn in Group A together with Myanmar, Singapore, Laos and Brunei. Harimau Malaya can consider themselves lucky to have avoided Group B, which comprises 15 times winners and defending champions Thailand as well as Vietnam, Indonesia, Cambodia, Timor-Leste and the Philippines. The top two teams from each group will qualify for the semi-finals.
Of course, Singapore, we know that they have prepared the team earlier and they have been to Qatar before this. So, like I said, it's not going to be an easy game. You see the preparation that they have. They have a very good preparation and we are still trying to get the players. So, let's see what happens after AFC then.
Malaysia will play all their Group A matches in Shah Alam Stadium, while Group B will take place at Selayang Stadium. The Bukit Jalil National Stadium will only host matches if Malaysia makes it to the last four and final. Concludes this evening's edition of News on 2. In our top story, ROS orders DAP to hold fresh elections. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Adrian Seed. Stay tuned to TV2. Have a pleasant evening and good night.